And the question reads, why does the town government provide great service to certain favored communities and ignore others?
I'm sorry, can you say that again, please?
Yes, it's, why does the town government provide great service to certain favored communities and ignore others?
Okay, thank you. Well, it's like I was trying to tell you before. You know, like General Shortcross says, you gotta admit you have a problem until you can fix the problem. When you can admit there's a problem, you'll change it. I believe very strongly, I'm a spiritual person, I believe in redemption. I think that a lot of the things that are wrong right now in Morristown can be rehabilitated. But we have to admit that things are wrong, and we have to start correcting some of these things. And you know, I'm willing to be honest about it and tell you what's really going on. All the streets will be clean, nobody's going to be ignored, all the cell phones will be available. If the people aren't doing their job, I'll sit down and I'll talk with them. They're not doing their job, and I'll persuade them that they have to help everybody in this town. Absolutely, people feel they live in the bar area, they feel there's too much partying up there, too much litter, and other areas of town. Recently, there was like the second ward, they felt they weren't getting the streets clean. People do feel that way. They feel like there's a clique, and there's no room for cliques in our government.
Mr. Babcock.
I have heard that people do feel that way, and I know that people in this very audience have come before the town council and tried to highlight some of the inequities that they feel in their neighborhoods. When I'm elected mayor, I would make the promise to each and every one of the residents of Morristown that there would never, ever be favoritism. Everybody in every community and every neighborhood would be treated equally. The door, the access would be equal. It would not be a squeaky wheel gets the grease kind of scenario. We would assure that every program, every service is set up in a way that is so transparent that there could be no question that everybody is being treated equally, because that is the right of every American to be treated equally under the law, and I think that extends to how services are rendered to every resident of every town in America. Thank you.
Mr. Dougherty.
Everyone's treated equally. If you have an issue, that's why you have council members. You go to your council members, you file a complaint, they bring it to the administration, the administration addresses it. I think someone's talking about issues with the street cleaning. And what I like about Jeff Harkey, who runs our engineering, he produced a document that showed how many times every street was hit, and it was equal. Sometimes they can't get to things because cars are parked in the way, and we became proactive to give notices that people move their cars and get their streets clean. So the community is treated equally across the board, first, second, third, and fourth ward, and our business district. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say real quickly, when I'm the mayor, I'm going to have those once-a-month meetings with the public, not just the council meetings. It's going to be the mayor advisory committee, and I have all my department heads there, and I encourage everybody to come out and tell us what they're not doing and what they need to do. You know, department heads, employees, all of us, we're just human beings. We're all fallible. We can all listen to each other better and work to each other better and respect each other better, and that's what's going to take place.
Just a thought that came to mind. I have heard from some constituents in the second ward that were not pleased with the way in which the community pool was rebuilt or repaired, because the premise was supposed to be the 100-year storm, and it took some damage, and it was built to pretty much the specifications prior to the storm without upgrades. So, you know, if that is the case, obviously I don't have the details on it, but you know, certainly when you're looking at those kinds of things, you have to make sure that you're doing things equally. You know, for one recreational area versus another, you can't shortchange one community for favored treatment elsewhere.
Thank you. Mr. Dougherty.
I'm sure everybody in the community would love to have a pool like Hopewell's pool for their kids. And again, let's get factual. Call engineering and find out what they did. It's not the same design. The pump house isn't even in the same location. It's totally geared to deal with issues of flooding. I don't know what you actually mean by what you're saying, but I think that rebuilding of that, rehabilitation of that pool was a great success. If you saw all the kids that used that pool all summer, you can't deny that it was an asset to the community. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question will be Mr. Babcock, Mr. France, Mr. Dougherty, and the question reads, how do you monitor telephone and internet abuse? I would venture to say probably employees.
What's the order?
Mr. Babcock, Mr. France, Mr. Dougherty.
That is a technical issue that every company in America, every government in America tries to tackle. I mean, you could do everything from blocking certain internet. You could have, when it comes to the telephone, you can have codes for each employee that must be inputted. There's a lot of different ways that the technology is there. It's just a matter of utilizing it properly. I'm not sure what the premise of that question is, but it's something that should be able to be easily managed.
Thank you. Mr. France.
Yeah, okay, well, when the cat's away, the mice will play. You know, there's a lot of temptation for people to play around the computer when they're supposed to be working on a salary basis. And I think anybody in good conscience that really is doing the job won't do that. So if they're doing that, I'll talk to them, I'll have the department heads talk to them, and we'll eliminate that. But a couple of years ago, we did have a business administrator here who was got in a lot of trouble for being on the internet all day, just looking at pornography, and he eventually lost his job as a result of that. And it's another thing that makes me very sad. I mean, I grew up in Morristown, and I have a lot of respect for all the people I know. Like my favorite mayor was Tony Catano Sr. When he was the mayor of this town, you could talk to him during the day. They used to call him Santa Claus because they say he gave everything away, but you know, you could always talk to him. And I think people of good conscience aren't going to abuse their computer if they know that we know it's wrong.
What employee, what mayor was he?
He was under the previous administration. No, two before that. He was under the Delaney administration as a.
Okay, that's good. I just wanted to clarify that in case anybody had misunderstanding. One, you have a competent CFO. Two, you have a competent business administrator. And three, you have a competent IT company. Business administrator and the CFO oversee the billing, make sure that the phone bills aren't excessive. They know when someone's abusing a phone, a cell phone. And it's up to the managers and the supervisors and the department heads to make sure that their workers are doing their job. But it's critical. Good CFO you have, great business administrator, and good IT. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. And this is going to be the last question for the evening, and it reads, Mr. Dougherty first, Mr. France second, Mr. Babcock third, and it reads, how do you want to define the next 4 years? Wait, hold on. It starts with, what do you think you would do differently than the incumbent mayor? For the mayor, then your question would be, how do you want to define the next 4 years? But I think how you want to define the next 4 years would be good for everybody to respond to. And the order is Mr. Dougherty, Mr. France, and Mr. Babcock.
Okay, good. I would say, very briefly, to continue to do what we're doing, continue to move the town forward. We have a great planning firm in Jonathan Rose. It's open and transplant, the master plan, next meeting the master plan is the 24th. I think that's the key. The key is planning. It's all different things taken into consideration when you move the town forward. It's also about making sure we have a strong police department, we have strong code enforcement, we have strong municipal services. So as far as vision, we continue to be smart in our development. There's no doubt in my mind that we're lauded as one of the premier communities in smart growth. It was even said on Steve Adebayo's show on Sunday morning, you want to see smart growth, go to Morristown, New Jersey. So I think we're heading in the right direction. I think that we have the right people in place. So one of the key things that I think Morristown lacked for many years was the right planning, and I think we have the right planners in place, and we're very happy with the way things are moving forward. We'll continue that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. France.
Yes, come on November 5th, if I am blessed and the Lord puts favor on me to lead this town, let me tell you something. A lot of things I'm going to do differently. First of all, when I become the mayor, I'm going to invite this mayor to work with me. A lot of times when they have a new mayor, they don't talk to the guy who was previously there. I think that hurt us with a couple of developments, like the one on Speedwell Avenue up here. The Speedwell Avenue development was going to be, we're going to have a new road up there. As of right now, we're going to have all these densely planned, all these cars up on Early Street. How in the world are going to go? So I would do the planning a lot differently.
We have limited time to get into details under this format, but I think when you want to summarize it, it's about vision. It's about the value we place on our neighborhoods, and as the mayor said, planning is key. But having a vision that's set forward not by the planners, not by the developers, but by the people of Morristown is where it needs to begin. And I think that's where we could do a better job. I think even though there was some openness in the master planning, it's been dragging on and needs to really interface in a broader way with people. I think it needs to go out to each individual area and talk to them openly about exactly what we're going to be doing in those neighborhoods, what our plans are. I think there has been a bit of opaqueness when it comes to some information, so that has to be clarified in terms of the impact it will have on each community.
Thank you. Mr. Barry, this is one vote.
I'd like to thank Mr. Babcock for bringing up the master plan. Unprecedented open access to the public. Civic engagement never experienced in Morristown before like this under this administration. Hotel, the storefront, all public input taken into the creation of the revised new master plan. That is key. Can't deny it, it's factual. Come to the 24th, the next meeting of the master plan, and you'll see your input at work. Thank you.
You can open a store, it doesn't mean people come in and shop and look at what you're trying to sell. Some of master planning has to be outreach directly to people in communities. And I think that's where just opening a storefront and asking for input is very different than actually actively going out and talking to people in their neighborhoods and engaging them where previously they were not engaged at all. The ramifications of development are significant. They're long-term, they're costly perhaps, and people have to really have an intimate knowledge of all that impacts that going forward. And it could be in their neighborhood, it could be in a neighboring neighborhood, but it's just something that you can't fall